Hello, tubers. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. And thank you for coming on and watching Cooper's Thai Adventure live stream on Monday morning here in Pattaya, Thailand. And
Jumped
let's
in.
talk crypto. It's still considered Pattaya. And last 2 weeks been very, very interesting in Bitcoin. So Bitcoin was down below 100,000, pumped up, just touched 104, dropped down to 92. So all those that had sell orders at 100 were gone, just gone. It's like, right, I'm selling, I'm getting out of there. And they left. Then what happened is the end of last week, it pumped back up 102. Over the weekend, it's had a bit of volatility. It's dropped down to like 98. Right now, we're sitting at 99,800. And earlier, about an hour earlier, it was at 101,500. So, what is happening there? Why does it keep fluctuating like that? Well, that's the day traders. I blame it on them. And they sit there and they wait for it to go up a couple $100. They sell, it drops the price down, and then they buy back in, and they're just making their money like $200 a time, and it's building up. And their little wallets that they have, and that's how they do it, the day traders. Well, what's going to happen with the day traders going forward? As Bitcoin becomes more and more scarce, it's going to affect the day traders. You're not going to see so much of it. And that's what this new pick for the SEC is going to look at, trying to lower the volatility of the crypto of Bitcoin. And one last thing from Gary Gensler. He had to throw his final nail in the coffin as he's going out. He said, nope, I'm not going to give Solana an ETF. I'm not giving any more cryptos an ETF. That's it. Don't even apply, because between now and when I leave on January 20th, I'm not approving any. The new SEC commissioner is going to be taken over from Gary Gensler. Guess what is the number one crypto that he has in his portfolio?
Solana.
So that is pretty much given that the new SEC commissioner is going to be approving that fairly soon after taking office, I think. So that was that bit of news. And one thing I wanted to touch on, folks, this channel is all about retirement in Thailand. Yeah, those coming out here with pensions or disabilities, or what, or savings until they get their pensions. Hence why we talk crypto on this platform one day a week on a Monday. In the Facebook group, Brooke put a post up earlier this week. Some people came on and said, hey, we don't like that you're talking about crypto on the Facebook group, and we don't like that you're talking about crypto on the YouTube channel. And Cooper, you shouldn't allow it. Well, if you want your own YouTube channel, sir, go do it, and then do what you want to do. Don't tell me how to run mine. Okay? That's simple. And if you don't like the Facebook group, there's the fucking door. Get out.
Oh, now,
I got
nice.
I got no time for people like that. This is here to help benefit people, and I believe 100% in crypto. I really, really do, with all my heart and soul, guys. I'm there 1,000,000% beside you, and I put 75% of my portfolio in crypto. I'm that strong for crypto, and I always will be. And I see the writing on the wall. I see a lot of differences this bull run than I've ever seen on previous bull runs. And the biggest difference I see is one, the ETFs. The ETFs have changed the Bitcoin industry completely. In prior bull runs, you would have a crypto winter and you'd have pullback, and it'd reach an all-time high of $69,000. We all remember that one 4 years ago. Reached an all-time high, boom, down to 12,000. Okay, January last year, 12 to 15,000 it was his bottom price. This time, I'm I got to say it, folks. I got to be honest with you. I'm not feeling that because there's too much institutional adoption now. Bitcoin is now a $2 trillion market cap. Bitcoin alone, the whole crypto market, 3 trillion. Bitcoin 2. I see Bitcoin this time around possibly not even having a crypto winner. And I'm saying that with whole heart here, folks. And the reason I'm skeptical that there will be a crypto winner is the new US government wants to have a reserve cryptocurrency. They chose Bitcoin. If it gets passed through the House and Senate,
Which looks like it will.
which I'm starting to believe now it will. A month ago, I would say there's a 20% chance. Now, I'm going to elaborate on that, folks. Why do I think this is going to pass? Well, they did the demographics between the Republicans and the Democrats, and 30% of Democrats support the bill. So it's bipartisan. So let's just say, for example, 5-10 Republicans vote against it. It's not enough to outweigh the Democrat support for it. A lot of them are into crypto, but they have friends, they have family, they represent constituents that have crypto. So I think there is now a high probability that bill is going to get passed. Whether it actually be, 1 million coins over 5 years, I don't know. Maybe it might get watered down to 500,000 coins over 5 years. But still, I think it's absolutely fantastic. Then you've got states in America like Pennsylvania, Florida, now Texas, all saying they want a strategic reserve for crypto. Just last week, Michael Saylor was talking to the board of Microsoft about crypto. He did a 3-minute video. It's on YouTube. It's also on X. You can go watch it over there, explaining why they should invest. Now, what's just happened today, just this morning, 4 hours ago, Mark Bezos from Amazon,
Jeff
Bezos, sorry, from Amazon said it was put on there from his shareholders. They want an open debate whether to get involved in crypto and Bitcoin at a 5% allocation
of their cash.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Then you got somebody called Mr. 100. Those that watch other YouTubers on Bitcoin and altcoins and everything else, they may have heard of Mr. 100. This is a person that nobody knows who he is, but he was regularly buying 100 Bitcoin every single day. And they called him Mr. 100. Now they got come out with somebody called Mrs. 200 that's buying regularly 200 a day, even when it's high as a 500, and then several 1,000 Bitcoin days of buying. And anyways, with all this going on, folks, if the US government gets its way and they buy 1 million Bitcoin over 5 years, that's going to send the price of Bitcoin, I'm afraid to say, I've done the math like Michael Saylor, Bitcoin to $500,000 next year. That'll take the price to $500,000. Then you got Michael Saylor. He's going to put 42 billion in over the next 3 years. Okay. Well, that's 200,000 from the US government per year. That's 200,000 from Michael Saylor from MicroStrategy. Well, they're only making 130,000 next year. 130,000 is the maximum that'll be mined next year for the whole year.
A lot of demand.
Well, that's 4 to 1. So with it being 4 to 1, guys, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Do you think there's going to be a crypto winner if these two things come into play? Do you really think that at the end of next year, we're going to reach a high plateau, $250,000, $500,000, and then all of a sudden it's going to drop back down to, say, 100,000? Let's say it drops 70% for the next 2 years. Or do you think that those two factors right there will keep crypto and Bitcoin pumping for the next 4 years, and there'll be no more crypto winners. I want to hear your comments in it. And without further ado, let's get into today's topic. Today's topic, Mr. Bitcoin, is
playing it safe on Bitcoin using MSTR MicroStrategy options. Yeah. So a little bit of history. I for maybe 4 years now have been using options as retirement income. My pension from Canada is quite small, as most pensions throughout the world are. And so I had to look for a way to supplement that income. I didn't really want to start pulling out of my retirement funds, reducing those to live. I thought, wouldn't it be nice if I could generate an income without working, make my money work for me, and have my retirement funds at least hold or hopefully go up, which they've been doing. So that's how I've done it is through options, and we'll get into that. And it's not difficult, guys, once you do the research and look into that. I just want to comment on a couple things you said.
Go for it.
People that are anti-Bitcoin, or if they're saying, oh, well, you shouldn't have this on your channel, that type of stuff, those are always people who have not done their research on Bitcoin. If you've done research on Bitcoin, and I'm not talking to your buddy or your investment advisor, you do it yourself, because it'll be true to you then. Whatever, it comes up with, it'll be real to you. You need to do it yourself, and you do enough of that research, and you will come to the same opinion as both of us here. And the majority of people on the planet now are getting into Bitcoin because they've done that research and they believe in it. So that's important, to do your own research. And, we'll try and help you, give you some tools to do that. And, I follow Invest Answers, as you do, religiously. He's one of the very few people on YouTube that I think you can trust. I know you can trust him. He's very open, and he's data driven, factual driven, stays away from the FOMO and the FUD and all that, which you don't want to get involved in. So you need to find, people like that you can trust, and just, do the research with them. Start watching the videos, start get an understanding. Now, I can watch videos, and one I'm going to speak of later, geez, I had to go through that thing about 3 times to completely understand what the heck was going on. Because a lot of times there's words you don't understand. You got to clear up the definition of those words, so it'll become real to you. But yeah, so sometimes when you find these ones, you might have to go through it a couple times. And but yeah, that's that. As Coop mentioned, look at, we've got, why are we talking about this? Okay, you got a crypto-friendly president, you got a crypto-friendly Congress, crypto-friendly Senate. He's appointed a crypto czar. David Sachs, his name is. He's got a crypto-friendly SEC chairman coming in. So look what's happening on the biggest economy on the planet, the US. They're going into Bitcoin heavy, okay? Then you have all the things, as Coop mentioned. You got, Microsoft analyzing whether to put it on their balance sheet. Now, Amazon just announced today saying, well, guess what, guys? There's going to be even more of them coming. You got state governments already getting into it. There is sovereign wealth funds on the planet already doing this. That Mr. 100 and Mrs. 200, I can guarantee you they are sovereign wealth funds, governments that are buying this stuff. They've got the money. So, but anyways, yeah, that's where the future is. Another big thing that happened this week, just to, add a little bit to what happened in Bitcoin this week, or crypto. I always thought Fidelity was the second biggest money manager on the planet.
It's not.
After BlackRock. BlackRock with 11 trillion, Fidelity had 5 trillion under management. They both recommend Bitcoin a percentage for all their clients. Well, guess what? I was wrong. Schwab is the second biggest.
Correct.
And they came out this past week, guys, and they suggested that all of their customers should hold at least 10% of their funds in Bitcoin. to stay in the game, basically, is what they were saying.
And Schwab was always against Bitcoin.
Well,
and now they've come out and said, actually, we're recommended 10% minimum. Minimum.
Yeah, I don't know if Schwab, I'd say, was anti-Bitcoin. They just maybe didn't. They weren't for or against. They were just kind of, well, let's see what happens, right? But I'll tell you who was against it, and they still haven't said boo. Vanguard. Vanguard's huge, and they still are in the game. And I tell you, somebody's going to get their ass fired in that company for being late to the game. You know. But anyways, yeah, that's that. A couple other guys I do follow, and you do too as well. I think there's a guy on YouTube called Plan B, and he does he's a very technical, mathematics driven individual, and he has what's called a stock to flow model. And he's been following Bitcoin for years, like I think over a decade, and his charts work out. You know what I mean? Like you can see where it's his predictions. My point is, like, he can show you on the graphs where, you know, Bitcoin's headed, and for the most part he's been entirely correct. So he's another guy to look at. Another one is Fred Krueger. He analyzes it through the power law, and again, these guys are high-tech mathematicians, statistical engineers, call it what you want, and they seem to be spot on as far as what's happening. And trust me, both these guys are getting into it. A guy you never hear about anymore, at least I haven't, Peter Schiff.
Oh, yeah,
Peter Schiff, the gold bug. I used to follow that guy 20 years ago. Gold's the way to be in, you know. And well, now he don't say nothing. And you know, I was listening to some of his quotes. Oh, Bitcoin's a scam. It'll never hit $100. It'll never hit 1,000. It'll never hit 10,000. It'll never hit 100,000. Well,
you guys are dreaming.
Yeah. So there's a guy you don't want to follow.
Yeah. Whatever he says, don't do.
Yeah, exactly. And but anyways, yes, that's it. So getting a little bit more into it. So how did I create this option income for my retirement? And I realized, I mean, I used to be diversified into 30 stocks, 25 to 30, depending on time. And some were winners and some weren't. And, I was trying to follow all these companies, and, I was doing a little bit of research on some and not enough on others. And, it was almost too big. And I kind of thought one day, started doing more research on just investing, and I, came across Jamie and Invest Answers. And he basically said, look, do a lot of research on winners, like what you think is going to be a winner, and then go in heavy and go in hard, and keep it simple. So in other words, I think he's basically in 3 companies, you know what I mean? And that's it. And so that kind of made sense, because you can't do a research on 30 companies and do it properly. How can you follow everything? So I took his advice, and I realized that there was volatility. See, volatility is my friend, where a lot of people say, oh, it's too volatile. It's too volatile. Well, I'll tell you why volatility is great, because it creates premium income on your options. The higher the volatility, the higher your premiums on your options. And I realized that these Bitcoin miners were quite volatile. And it was a way to play Bitcoin. So as a Bitcoin proxy, as I spoke on in a few of the other videos a while back. I was heavy in the miners for a few years, and had some MicroStrategy at the side, doing okay too. But just about a week ago today, guys, I watched a video from Invest Answers, how to boost your Bitcoin stacking. And it regards MicroStrategy and how they've hit upon this infinite money glitch. And in a nutshell, Michael Saylor issues bonds, MicroStrategy bonds. They pay 0. Who the heck is buying these bonds with a 0 coupon? Well, big institutions. They're clamoring to get these bonds. The bonds made up of, a guarantee for the money, as well as an option to convert the bond into MicroStrategy stock.
And you know who bought the bulk of those bonds, Brooke?
Who?
Allianz, the biggest insurance company in Europe.
I don't doubt it. You'll see a lot of these
they
insurance
bought
companies.
The biggest
portion
of the bonds.
I never looked that far. Good, you've done your research, Junior.
Yeah.
But So anyways, yeah, they've got two components, the the bond itself, which guarantees the money back, obviously backed by Bitcoin, and the option premium, the option part, which converts if at the discretion of the the bond holder to MicroStrategy stock, but it's at a higher level. For example, I think the bonds were issued, say, at $400 a share. MicroStrategy was trading. They can convert at $672. Well, okay, so Saylor takes this money he receives, and he doesn't just go to pay bills, and he buys Bitcoin, and he's constantly buying Bitcoin. And when you realize what he's done, so you own a share of MicroStrategy, kind of equates to a portion of a Bitcoin. And every time he buys, that portion continually goes up.
Yes.
And you still only own one share. Well, hold it. How does that make sense? But when you look at the numbers, the facts, the statistics, and do the equations, it does. It adds up. And you can follow it over time, that every time he buys, you actually on one share of MicroStrategy own more Bitcoin than before he bought. So eventually, let's take 10 years, and you can see the models on the video, that the one, the portion of Bitcoin you own in 10 years has maybe gone up 10x. So, which is fantastic, where the guy that bought the one Bitcoin still owns one Bitcoin.
Yes.
Okay. So that was very interesting. So anyways, long story short, geez, I saw that, and it was like an epiphany. The light went on. I sold 80% of my miners and immediately flipped it into MicroStrategy. Now, again, it was a week ago, so I kind of hit it lucky on the timing, I think. But, and the premiums are going to be similar, and probably even a little better, but I'm positive I have a better appreciation on the stock going forward with MicroStrategy than I would have with the miners.
So MicroStrategy, in essence, is like a 2.5x leverage play on Bitcoin.
I would say, yeah. So it's kind of like a levered play versus simply owning Bitcoin outright, and and I'm okay with that because I've done my research and I understand, what it's doing. But yeah, that, what I realized, and one of the big things, guys, I realized and kind of hit home when I heard this, the issue with my miners, and my miners were Mara, Riot, and CleanSpark. I still own, all three, but nowhere near as heavy as I was, is that they issue shares, which dilutes your, holdings, let's say, to buy more mining rigs, to mine more Bitcoin, pay some bills. Okay. MicroStrategy issues shares, but they don't waste. They buy Bitcoin. Well, that kind of, that makes sense. Heavens to Betsy. Because, my percentage of Bitcoin I own per share is growing constantly every time they buy. So, okay, so that's the theory. Now, let's look at the hard facts. You own, I'm going to give you an example, guys, of, and you guys can use this. It's a free service. It's called Bar Chart. And if you look that up, it'll list all your options prices on that. Okay. It's about a 15-minute delay if you're looking live, but you can go on the weekend like I do here, and it'll list everything and every company out there and every option, that's available. And I use it, obviously for my miners, and now obviously for MicroStrategy. And 100 share. Now the thing with options, you need to have 100 shares of a stock to sell an option. Now I don't get into technical options. Synthetics, and I strictly do covered calls. And
what is a covered call?
A covered call is you own the stock, and instead of just sitting there holding, hoping it goes up or whatever, I'll sell a call against my stock. So it's covering my stock, and for that I receive a premium, per share.
Right.
And I keep that premium regardless.
So you're selling a call at a higher price than what you paid for your stock.
You can sell it at any price. I obviously always go higher, especially on the shares. And so that's what it is. It's called a covered call because you own the stock. You're covering it with a call.
Right.
I'm selling the call. Now, who's buying it?
Yeah.
The guy buying it is thinking the stock's going to go through the roof, or at least higher than the price he's giving me. So, for example, with let's take MicroStrategy, trading at 400 this past week. I sold the calls at 800. Okay, out about a month and a half, about 45 days. And the guy paying me the premium, forget what it was, maybe $6 a share. He's thinking it's going to be above 800, or at least within that time he'll make money. You know, the option might go up or double, and he'll get out quick, and it doesn't have to go to 800 for him to make money. But what's my downside if the stock went to 1,000? Well, I got to give the guy the share at 800. But then I've doubled my money in 45 days, so I'm okay with that.
Plus, he pays you to do it.
The $6 a share, let's say.
So $600.
Yeah, and that's I get to keep that regardless of what happens to the stock.
Right.
So I'm hoping that it doesn't hit 800, and then I can sell another call, and it's just like a constant turnover, you might say.
But if it does hit that price, he gets the shares, and you get double your money.
I get double my money for 45
plus the
days.
original $600.
Yeah.
So that's in effect. That's what you do to earn money on top of your pension.
I've been doing it for 3 years, and it's and luckily I've been able to increase my portfolio, number one, which means usually my share count's going up, and living comfortably, I guess you'd say.
So what would you say then is a safe covered call? How far out should you go? What would you recommend?
Well, it depends on the individual. Currently, I'm doing short term, like 20, 30, 45-day max, because I think there's going to be a rocket in MicroStrategy, through Bitcoin. And with the adoption of MicroStrategy now, boy, everybody's getting on the bandwagon, and I think it's going to zoom. So when they come due, I don't think they'll hit these double, and things tend to revert back to the mean. So it might get close to that and then back off a bit. So, but my hope is, and I'm, that it settles at 650 when the call is coming due. Well, good. That's it. I get to write another option. The benefit is the 650 now, there might be $12 a share in income, and you'll be at 1,300 if you double, what I would look at. So, your strike prices, my strike was 800. As the share prices increase, they add more and more strikes available that you can sell down the road now.
Because I'll give you a little background here, folks. I've never done a cover call in my life. Brooke's been doing it for 3 years, and he's now teaching me on how to get into it so I can make some extra income. And he said to me, Cooper, if you do this right, you can earn between $2,000 and $5,000 every month. They pay, you can do it, roll it out for 30 days. Every month you'll have this as an income. And you just set the target so high that it's very unlikely that it'll reach that covered call and you lose your shares. But even if you do, you're going to double your money at a minimum.
I wouldn't say lose your shares. Your shares get called away.
Yeah.
It's a covered call. Well, it gets called at the 800, say. So you're not really an upset guy because you doubled your money either way. It's a win-win. Right? So then you got to sit there. Well, what am I going to do with the money? But so here's an example, guys, and I want to just do this real quick. So 100 shares of MicroStrategy will cost you $40,000. So if you've got $40,000 sitting in an account, say, geez, how can I make some money on that? On a routine basis. If you went out it's 41 days now in bar chart. Takes you to January 17th. You do the 800 strike price. You paid 4. Your shares will get called away at 8 in 41 days, mind you.
So that's double. Yeah,
that'll pay you $1,428. Wow, for the one contract, and that's on 40,000. So, I mean, let's say nothing else changed. You get 1,400 for a month and a half. That's pretty good. And if you had 2 contracts, you'd be double that. So
2,800.
Yeah. Anyways.
Well, that's good. That's good money to live on in Thailand for a month, I'll tell you.
So what you want to do initially, guys, is forgetting Bitcoin. You want to do your research on covered calls. You will find, and any investment advisor would tell you, that's a more conservative way to invest than simply owning stock.
Mhm.
Hard to believe, but it's true, because you're getting money to reduce your, your input costs, let's say, and your strike price is obviously higher or close to it. I mean, you don't have to do 800, you could do 600 and generate more income. So it's quite interesting. But anyways, yeah, so do your research on calls, covered calls specifically. It's pretty safe doing that. And then, yeah, take a look at what you could do that in your portfolios. And, it's a way to generate some additional income.
So even if Bitcoin goes up or down, you could still do covered calls.
Mhm.
Let's say Bitcoin drops 50% overnight,
Right.
and you made your money from your covered calls. Are still Can you still do it and continue
Oh,
just
yeah.
making
Yeah.
money every single month?
Yes. Now, what happened? And I went through a crypto winter with the miners.
Right.
So those miners dropped 50% in price.
Mm.
What happens to your premium income? It also drops
Okay.
quite a bit. So, maybe I was generating 2,000 a month. Oh, geez, I was down to 800. You know what
Right.
I mean? And boy, you got to struggle to survive on that. Mind you, I had enough. I was okay. But so, yeah, that's what happens if the price of your shares that you're trying to cover, sell the calls on, if they drop dramatically, say 50%, you better believe it, your income's going to drop 50% on the calls. But you, as anything, you got to have a future outlook. If you think the stock's going to drop 50% and stay there, why are you even in the stock? Obviously, I invest in MicroStrategy because I believe Bitcoin is the future, and I don't know where it'll be tomorrow or next week, but I'll tell you, in 5 years, it'll be worth more than it is today, and in 10 years, a lot more than it is in 5. So that's the future I believe in, and yeah.
All right. Well, let's get started in today's show and see who we got online and answer your questions. If you got any questions with Captain Bitcoin over here, Mr. Brooke Schneider, in regards to covered calls and puts, he knows all that. He's been in there doing it in the market for the last 3 years on crypto.
Roger Walker, Roger the Dodger. Good morning, Darlene Cooper and Brooke and everyone. It was a pleasure meeting you two yesterday at Amazon.
Yeah, he's here in Thailand, and we were sitting out front at Amazon on
Having a
Beach Road.
coffee.
He comes walking past. Hey, Cooper, I follow you. It's okay. Thank you. What's your name, buddy? Oh, I'm Roger Walker. Oh, we know you from the live
Yeah.
stream. Yeah, you're on just about every live stream. So absolutely pleasure to meet you, Roger. And thank you for coming up and saying hello. I really do
That was
enjoy
nice
it.
to you.
If
Yeah.
you do follow me on the channel, folks, and you see me out and about, come over and say hello. I'm a very friendly guy, and I actually enjoy meeting people.
And just like 10 minutes before that, there was another subscriber that
Did exactly
stopped us
the
on
same
the road.
thing, yeah.
Said, hey, how you doing? So that was good. Michael Coyle, good morning, guys, from Queens, New York.
Good morning, Michael.
Jack Bree, good day. CBD from warm Brisbane. Yeah, it's
Brisbane,
a little warmer
Australia. Thank you, Jack.
Lots of Aussies here, Jack. Andrew Ginn, good morning from Chiang Mai.
Just the other side of the ocean there for us. Yeah. And thank you for coming in, Andrew.
Subwoofer, hey, Coop and Brooke from Las Wages.
And thank you, Las Wages.
Alfa Romeo, good evening, gentlemen, and the Coopersville crew. Hope everything is doing well. Yes.
And we are, Romeo. We'll see you on Friday.
Few days, yeah, he'll be here. But John Bain, the CEO of Ripple, was on 60 Minutes.
Yeah, I heard that, but I didn't actually get a chance to see the interview. He was also on CNBC talking about how this new SEC commissioner coming in and the change of the government and that is crypto friendly. It's going to do fantastic things going forward.
Good.
He said they're moving in the right direction.
Jeff Siegler, good morning, Darlene Coop and Brooke from Denver.
Good morning,
Colorado. Alfa Romeo, thumbs up, guys. Hit that thumbs up button. Make Darlene smile.
Yes, please. If you're watching on the live stream or the replay, hit the thumbs up. It doesn't cost you a penny, folks, and it just boosts our channel. It helps us. We are only 2 people away from hitting 17,000 subscribers.
Wow, it'll probably be today.
Hopefully we'll get it on the live stream. 2 new people will subscribe and we'll be at 17,000. If you haven't already subscribed, do it now. Get us there.
Quite an army, wouldn't it?
We would really appreciate it.
Dean Parkinson, hi guys, looking forward to hearing about covered calls. Well, we started there a bit.
Yeah.
Any questions you got, just post them. John Bain, XRP is up 352% this month. Yes, it's had a good run. Now it's kind of been treading water for a few years, so thank heavens. A better investment than a savings account. Yeah, I got a buddy in it, and I've told him, I said, listen, I'd be flipping that out of that when you got a good profit, because I don't have a lot of faith in most of these altcoins. I think they're, some of them are a flash in the pan.
Donnie's done very well.
Donnie's
our
done
guest
well, but
last
he's-
Monday, he was fantastic.
Yeah.
He's done extremely well on XRP. And XRP is currently sitting at $2.51, down on the last 24 hours by 2.9%. That's a little splash in the pond, a little tiny stone, because it's up 352%. So for the last month, it's dropped only 2%. So it's still up 350. I wouldn't be complaining. I'd be like, yeah, okay, I'm happy with that.
My big issue with XRP going forward is they have a massive amount of tokens that are, still like going to get unlocked, let's say. So, okay. But hey, live and learn with Mike. Good morning, DJ Cooper, Brooke, and Darlene.
Good morning, Mike.
Live and learn. I just bought a lot more XRP just 30 minutes ago. Well, there you go.
People are buying it.
Good luck to you.
I'll tell you what, there's a very good it overtook Solana. There's a good chance it could overtake ETH. I think with the new SEC commissioner coming in, he's probably going to give Solana an ETF and XRP as well. If that happens, watch out. It's going to be a sell the news event and way up there.
Well,
so you might have got in at the right time there, brother.
W Secrets to Success. XRP has outperformed all my other investment positions in just 1 month. Yahoo! But it's less than 15% of my portfolio. Well, still, hey, you got a winner. So
yeah, I mean, it's good to hedge your bets. On the little guys, go in small. On the big guys, stay in big. And the little guy rips. Well, guess what? Your profit's just gone up big time.
I'll admit I haven't done research on altcoins a bit, but one thing I've always tried to say, listen, if you've got a healthy profit on something like that, maybe it's time to take out what you put in, so you're playing with house money, so whatever you leave in there is house money. Didn't cost you anything. I got my money out that I put in. Then you kind of say, hey, you can wait till the cows come home because it's their money you're playing with.
Yeah.
Kyle says, good day, everyone.
Good day, Kyle.
Jeff Siegler, love Invest Answers. Yeah,
I do.
Great. Yep.
James is fantastic.
You'll learn a lot from him. And now he's obviously Bitcoin, MicroStrategy, Tesla, and Solana. So those are his kind of core investments, and he has done fantastic with them. I mean, he's made literally millions and millions with it. So, and he's a down-to-earth type of guy. He
is.
Yeah.
And he just brings you the facts.
Yeah. Facts and data.
Facts and data.
like.
I like that.
No FUD.
Yeah.
Big Al, good day, gents. Well, after watching last week's live with your guest, I finally took the plunge with Fidelity's ETFs. Looking forward to January 20th. Thanks again for your guidance.
And thank you, Al. And yeah, that's who I'm with my Bitcoin portfolio. I'm with Fidelity.
Yeah.
I chose Fidelity. Why did I choose Fidelity? Because there's no fees for the remainder of this year. From when they started it until January 1st, there's no fees. It was like, okay, no brainer. BlackRock said as soon as we hit 5 billion, there's going to be fees. Well, they hit that in 3 months.
Yeah.
So it was fairly quick. And I knew there was going to be a lot of FOMO coming in. I knew that there was a lot of investors out there that were like, I can't buy crypto legally. There's laws prevent me from doing so in America, but I can buy the ETFs. ETFs launch. Okay, I can get into crypto now. And they did, and it pumped straight, past that 5 billion in 3 months. And I thought, nope. Fidelity said they're not going to have any fees for the whole year.
Good.
Until January the 1st next year. And I was like, that'll do me. That's the one I'll jump into. I like saving money. I don't like fees. Who likes fees? Who likes taxes? Only 2 things certain in life: death and taxes.
Alfa Romeo, I'm hoping that the BTC price takes a decent sized dip. He's always looking for a dip. You know what I mean? I'll buy a much bigger position at the lower cost and off to the moon. I only wish I had started earlier. Futures looks promising. Well, listen, you're never too late. You're starting at the right time, Romeo, because sky's the limit. I think 25, we're going to see unbelievable prices on Bitcoin, and the FOMO hasn't even started yet. So, and the adoption's growing. It's constantly growing. So, as I said many times, I'll still be buying Bitcoin at 200,000 a coin. You know what I mean? So not to worry. So will Sailor. Giovanni, good morning, gentlemen. Thanks for the helpful information you guys provide.
And you're very welcome. We'll see you at breakfast, Giovanni.
Yes, brekkie time. Market Focus. Hello, Coop and Brooke. Bitcoin to the moon.
I agree. That's where I think it's heading. I think with this market adoption, with the new SEC chair, the crypto-friendly Democrats and Republicans working together on this bill, I think we're on the races to some fantastic upside to crypto in 2025.
True.
I think it's going to blow everybody away.
Yeah.
A lot of people predicted Bitcoin's going to go to 130, 150 is going to be the all-time high, and that's it. It's going to fizzle out. I think it's going to hit that this month. Like Tommy Lee says, it's going a lot higher than 100,000 in the month of December.
Yeah.
And what always happens in a bull run, an election year, every December, 5 to 10 days before Christmas, crypto goes crazy. It always does. For the last 3 bull runs, if you go back in time and you look, in December, when does it spike? It's always 5 to 10 days before Christmas. Well, we're almost there.
Yep.
Not long now, and we'll be there.
The John Bain at W Secrets to Success vlog. Good strategy.
Yes, it is.
Live and learn. Merrill Lynch is not in crypto at all. Merrill Lynch.
And
wow.
another one's going to lose out.
Yeah, them and Vanguard.
And I'm with IBKR in New York is my brokerage account. And the amount of people that have left companies like Merrill Lynch because Vanguard because they wouldn't let them get into the ETF, said, no, we're not going to do it. And we're not going to let you buy them. Think of everybody in Australia that's been unable to buy Bitcoin.
England.
They're like, oh, hell with it. I'll get on a VPN and I'll get on the American Stock Exchange. I'll buy it on there. Go F yourself, to the government. Don't tell me what I can and can't do with my money. There's banks out there that won't let you get into it. And since when do banks have a say what you do with your money?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Their only job is to hold the money and pay you interest on it.
True.
That's it. That's their only job in the world. They don't have the right to tell you what you can and can't do with your money.
Your money.
No.
Kind of remind me, just a little off topic, but about, what was it, 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, Germany sold all their Bitcoin, 40,000 coins or something. And, if they had held on for 3 weeks, they would have made $2.5 billion.
Exactly.
They sold them at 55,000 a coin, and now we're at 100. So hello, so the funny thing is, they will be announcing a Bitcoin reserve in the next year or two.
I guarantee it. They'll have to buy
back at a higher price, guys. Yeah.
Double what they sold it for.
Fire their asses. Jay Easy, I'm crypto friendly. With that said, to play the risk averse card, what is the risk to the economy and individuals if crypto crashes, similar to the crash of the start market at 29?
I'd like to answer that question.
All right.
I'll tell you, Jay Easy. Okay. What happened in the stock market crash of 29? Well, what they did is they bought gold heavily. People went out racing to buy gold. Well, what is crypto? Crypto is gold.
Bitcoin.
It's digital gold. Bitcoin is digital gold. So just last week, there was an interview on TV with somebody that's been anti-crypto for a long time.
Well, you're talking Powell? The Fed.
Powell.
I wouldn't say he was anti. He just didn't really comment, but now he did.
Yeah, now he's really commented and come out in favor of Bitcoin. He said, and you guys can go back and watch this video. It's on YouTube. Just type in Jeremy Powell. And he said, Bitcoin is not a play on the dollar or any currency. Yeah, it is competition for gold.
Yeah, digital. It's
digital gold
is what he referred to it
as. Digital gold.
Yeah.
Well, I guarantee you, when he said that, a lot of people went out and bought Bitcoin.
Well, and that's the first time you got that high an official. Number
Yes.
one, he's saying, look, it's not a threat to the dollar. Well,
No.
that's good.
Yeah.
It's not a currency. It's a store of value
Mhm.
similar to gold.
Yes.
It's digital gold. And those are his words. Well, that's good. That's good for the Bitcoin holders.
So my thoughts on this, Jay Easy, if we ever had a stock market crash like that, a lot of people will rush to buy Bitcoin instead of gold, because Bitcoin has outperformed gold since its conception.
Yeah.
It is faster growing than the internet. More people own cryptocurrency than own dogs on the planet. That's how big it is. So, yeah, I see. If that ever happened, a lot of people will rush to get into crypto.
Jay Easy, I could see like crypto crashes, like you can see a lot of these altcoins drop dramatically, because the demand is evaporated. With Bitcoin, it's a different kettle of fish. It might be somewhat volatile, but you buy and hold that. I'd rather what'll happen in a crypto crash, let's say, where the altcoins are plummeting, people switch to Bitcoin.
And then switch out of Bitcoin.
Yeah,
to the
and when the
alts,
things are starting to go to the moon, okay, well, let's so they still want to be maybe in the crypto. It's just it'll vary. The Bitcoin percentages increase in times of trouble because they flee Ethereum, they flee the altcoins, they want it in Bitcoin. So that's one thing. The stock market crash. They have a lot more tools now than they did in 29. So I don't think we'll ever see that again. They'll just get the printing presses running in that. But we have a president who is pro-business. So I don't think for the next 4 years you're going to have a problem or an issue with a crash, because he's pro-business, pro-stock market. He wants to see that stock market do well, and it is doing well. You can see after he took office how much it's up. So I think the chances of that, it's a non-zero event, but I would say it's minimal with Trump in there. Okay. Captain Action, Henry from Tampa. Cooper, Brooke, I just started buying Bitcoin last week. I'll never catch up to you guys, but let's see what happens. Thank you. You don't have to catch up to anybody. This is for you. So, as you're able, dollar cost average in, I recommend that each paycheck or each month, whatever you can. And if it's only $50, it's $50.
Yeah.
It's 100 or whatever you can afford, put in there. And the reason, and hold on to it. Don't sell it. Just keep it. In 5 years, you'll be happy you did. In 10 years, you'll be happier. You know what I mean? So that's all you got to do. You're not in competition with anybody, Captain Action.
No. Just happy you got in it.
Yep. Jeff Sigler, big thanks to Brooke. I listened to him last January. Watched the Tucker Carlson. There you go. Okay, that's a big interview, guys. You watch that if you haven't already. And go back and rewatch it if you have. Tucker Carlson interviewed Michael Saylor. And boy, it's a great explanation of the history of money, why currencies have been debased over time, inflation, and Bitcoin. So you kind of get it all covered. And it's in layman's language, so it's easy to understand. And then he did his research and bought a bunch of MicroStrategy and a little Bitcoin. Well done.
Smart play.
Yeah, Jeffy, that's good. And hey, just keep doing what you're doing, big guy. You are on the right track. Well done.
And watch your Bitcoin bag grow, because with MicroStrategy, it's a 2.5x play against Bitcoin. So when Bitcoin goes up, MicroStrategy tends to be a lot higher. When Bitcoin goes down, MicroStrategy tends to be a lot lower. But if you play the long run, like Mr. Schneider's saying, your bag will grow. That amount that you put into MicroStrategy, say you got 1 Bitcoin. I don't know what you have there, Jeff, but say you had 1 Bitcoin. 5 years out, well, that 1 Bitcoin could now be 3, 4 Bitcoin.
Who knows?
Who knows? It's that volatile, MicroStrategy. So you could effectively, have 4 Bitcoin in 5 years time. We're in unprecedented times with the crypto market right now.
And MicroStrategy did a 10-for-1 stock split, I think less than a year ago, maybe a year ago. So, guys, the point of that is, you remember I said you need 100 shares for a contract for selling the calls? Brooke, I'm not there. I've only got 10 shares or 15. hey, there'll be another 10-for-1 split, in my opinion, coming up, guys.
And then all of a sudden,
hey, I got 150 shares. I can do one contract. So,
exactly.
They'll never give up. Yep. Just buy and hold. But John Bain, Peter Schiff equals gold maxi. Yeah, he's been that way for 20 years, and he's been the poorest performing asset. Instead, Bitcoin has been the best. You know what I mean? So yeah. Alfa Romeo, Allianz Insurance, German-based, bought huge MSTR bonds.
They did.
You mentioned
they were the largest buyer of the bonds.
Yep.
And I mean, Allianz is huge. It's a German-based company, Romeo, but it works all across the EU. When I was in England, you can get Allianz Insurance.
Yeah.
It wasn't just for Germany; it was the whole European Union that you can.
I had it in Florida.
Yeah,
I
think it's maybe even worldwide.
Yeah.
And a large part of the planet. So they are absolutely huge company, and they bought most of his bonds. What's that tell you? I always say follow the money, and I'm going to tell you guys a little story. My sister Julie, she lives in Austin, Texas, and she's invested her savings into the stock market, has a broker, and she's never got into crypto. And I was talking to her last week. I said, Julie, you want to look into getting into some Bitcoin? I said, I can see the writing on the wall. I can see where this is going. I'll send you a copy of my portfolio so you can see what I've done if you want to copy it. Well, she got in touch with her stockbroker, her financial advisor. And he says, no, we don't offer Bitcoin. And she said, well, I'm looking at Fidelity like my brother is. It's on the ETF. And he says, no, we don't offer it. So she said, send me a copy of your portfolio. So I did. I sent her the copy. She gets back on the phone a couple of days later with her stockbroker. And he says, yeah, I see what your brother's doing, but we don't actually accept clients into them unless they're investing $2 million.
Oh, she needs a different broker.
$2 million.
Advisor. Yeah.
Her broker wouldn't entertain her unless she was investing $2 million. He must have a hell of a lot of clients with a lot of money that's investing that to raise the benchmark up that high.
Yeah.
So I told her, I said, Julie, here's the contact details for IBK. Download the app on your phone. I'll help you set it up. You can get in and buy shares of the ETF yourself. Yeah. Choose which one you want. If you want to go with BlackRock, you want to go with ARK Invest, you want to go with Fidelity, it's up to you which one you choose, and start in that way. So she's going to be looking into that this week.
Yeah,
because he won't let her in. Refuse to, unless she was going to invest $2 million.
Oh, crazy. Market focus. As far as the stock market, I invest in dividend stocks and reinvest my profits back into the stock. Yeah, slow and steady.
Yeah. Takes dividends and invest those dividends back in. Good way to do it.
Now, I do believe Jamie's correct when he says, look, you got to forget these inflation rates that the government tells you.
2%, 3%.
Yeah, no. He says you need 14% on your money per year to break even. And he uses kind of the S&P index as that.
Right.
It's returned 14%. So for you to stay steady in, say, a stock portfolio, you need 14% on your money.
Yeah.
So if you're investing your own and you're not using that, well, there's your measurement, guys. What are you up against? 14%. So the issue with like these government bonds that pay 3 and 4%, like you're falling behind, big time. So watch your portfolios, guys. Yeah. Robert Pierpont, I like selling puts. There you go. And making 4.5% plus API on the cash I have in collateral as well. So, he gets paid for having his cash sitting there in case he has to, buy the stock with the put.
That's exactly what I do with IBK. I'm getting 6%.
Oh, good for you. Yeah, they do pay healthy.
Yeah, I get 6% on any cash that's sitting there above $20,000.
Yeah.
First 20,000, nothing after 20,000. You do it. And like several people here, I'm expecting a dip too. So that's why I'm sitting on cash right now as well, waiting for that dip so I can buy in and get even more.
Well, Robert's kind of, he's already one step ahead of covered calls. He's selling puts. It also creates income. But I would say, guys, listen, focus on covered calls initially. And when you get that stage perfect, then you can go to Robert's stage 2, look into selling puts to create income. But John Bain at Alfa Romeo, interesting, given that the German government dumped a ton of Bitcoin. Yeah, we covered that.
And Allianz, the head of Allianz was on TV on Bloomberg earlier this week. He said that was the worst mistake the German government's ever made.
Bingo.
And now they're trying to get the German government out and get a new government in. So there you go.
Robert Pierpont, also, you can keep your shares from being called away if you roll the contract. Yes. Yes, it will cost you profits plus some, but you keep the shares. True.
Can you elaborate on what Robert's saying? Because a lot of people may not understand what he's saying there.
I gave the example of, you pay $400 a share for MicroStrategy, let's say today.
Right.
And that's $40,000 a contract. We'll go out 41 days to January 17th, sell the call at 800.
Right.
Okay. I think it generated $1,400 in income, $14 a share. You keep that. Okay, January 17th comes along. Oh my God, the shares are at 900, 850, whatever, $1,000. It's above your strike price of 800. What do? You can let the shares go. They'll get called away for sure. But you don't want to lose those shares. So what you can do is you can do what's called roll up and out.
Okay.
So you got to roll up in price because, my God, they're at 900. So I got to go higher than that because I think it's still going to go. So you might go, you might say, hey, I got to go to 1,100 or 1,000.
Right.
Okay. But you have to go out as well. So you went up in price, but you got to go out probably 2 months, 3 months, 4 months.
Instead of the original 1 month.
Yeah. The further out you go, the higher the premium, and you need enough premium to cover. I got to buy those calls back that I sold on the 800.
So you have to give the person back the $600.
Well, you have to give them back whatever that price is for the option. Okay. And it's going to be heavy, but you'll get this heavy money when you sell the calls maybe a few months out. So it's called roll up and out. Now it sounds complicated, but there's a way you keep your shares. You just have to wait a little longer, to generate more income, let's say. But that's kind of that's a different stage. Focus on doing your research on covered calls. It'll be in there how to roll up and out. Okay. But yeah, there's a way but then, okay, you ask yourself, hey, I doubled my money in 41 days. Maybe I better just take that money and sit on it. You know what I mean? And so you don't always want to roll up and out because things can revert to the mean. If a stock's doubled in a month, it might revert back 20, 30%. You know what I mean? To reversion to the mean, it's called. So we'll see. But yeah.
And somebody that doesn't like crypto says,
Gunslinger Jaggedy, buy silver and platinum. Cryptos are Ponzi's.
Okay, well then it's been a Ponzi for 15 years, and there's a lot of crypto millionaires out there. Best Ponzi scheme I ever heard of.
Well, listen, Gunslinger in some respects has a point. There are so many meme coins and altcoins. There's literally tens of thousands, Coop.
No.
That and there is a lot of them are what I call scams, shit coins, whatever. He's not referring to Bitcoin. That ain't a Ponzi. We all know that. So it's a bit of truth and a bit of untruth, maybe. Live and learn with Mike. 21 more days. Thailand, here I come. Yep.
Not long, Mikey.
Everybody's happy. There's the big stir. Good morning, guys. Looking forward to the stream. I just wish I didn't have to stay up late most nights to watch the markets. Yeah, in Thailand, that's one issue we both know. Hell, I get up, the middle of the night, and Jesus, I'm watching the markets.
Yeah,
3 a.m. in the morning, and still got an hour before they close.
Well, he joined us at El Gaucho's steakhouse here in Jomtien. On the first Tuesday of December, they do half price steaks, and he joined us. And I actually saw him without the pirate eyebrows and the goatee, and I would never have recognized him. But when you look at him, I'll tell you who he reminds me of. He reminds me of the skipper from Gilligan's Island.
Oh,
he looks just like the skipper. There was a group of us at the table, and I said to everybody, I said, who does he remind you of? And they're looking at him. I don't know, who, Coop? And I said, he looks like the skipper from Gilligan's Island. Well, the table erupted, and everybody's looking at him going, Yeah, you're right. He
just
does
needs
look
the
like the
hat. Oh, he's
skipper.
got the right hat on there.
Very nice guy. Thank you, brother, for coming on. I enjoyed meeting you.
Tim P. Good day, Coop, Brooke, and Darlene. I hope you folks are well. We are.
And thank you,
He's
Tim.
from Canada, Tim. Dean Perkinson. I've been in crypto since early 2017, and the biggest mistake I made is holding too long and not locking in profits. I think he's referring to altcoins.
Yeah, and also crypto winner.
Crypto winner, but he, Bitcoin, you've done well if you've had Bitcoin since 2017. So obviously it's some other type of coin, and a lot of them guys have just been dead money for years. People don't really want to sell them because, oh my God, it was $8 a coin and now it's down to $1 and it's coming back, and well, some just don't.
Yeah. But as they say in Bitcoin, those who've held it for 4 years have never lost money.
Correct. Steve Dice, STCE is a great ETF from Schwab that has MicroStrategy and a total of 41 other Bitcoin related companies. Good to know. It tends to be less volatile than my straight Bitcoin ETF from BlackRock. Excuse me.
A lot of people going that way. There's been a lot of proposals for ETFs where they go into the top 4 or top 5 cryptos, and that's where you invest in.
Yeah.
So that's something that's good to look at for the future. That when they come on to the stock market, it might be something I even look into. It's a way of hedging your bets.
True. And there's a good friend of ours here, Bubba, is he's pretty heavy into these yield max ETFs. And what's nice about those guys, again, do your research. They pay monthly dividends. So and they're quite high. And they do synthetic covered calls on the stock. They don't own any of the stocks that they work with. They simply do through synthetics options. And but boy, the payouts have been good, and he is tickled pink. So I would even look, and the one for MicroStrategy is called Misty, MSTY. Make a note of that, guys. Do your research on that. That might be something to look at. For ones that like a dividend payer, I don't like, maybe it's risky. Well, then fine. Look at these ETFs with the monthly payout. You're getting your monthly dividend, and hopefully the stock appreciates. Some do, some don't. So again, do your research.
And again, like Brooke says, selling covered calls on MicroStrategy is a way of taking less risk.
True.
So if it goes down, you still got your money from your covered calls. If it goes up, you still got your money from your covered calls. If your covered call gets met, you doubled your money. So it's a win-win scenario.
I look at it that way.
And it's a safer bet on Bitcoin. For those that are a bit skeptical to get into it, it could be a good option for you.
John Bain, Dean Parkinson, interesting. Alpha Romeo, thanks again for the great advice, boys. Much appreciated.
Very welcome, Romeo.
GA, MicroStrategy 4 is 100%. Lots of premium available with either selling CSPs or CCs. Covered calls. Okay.
Yeah. And here's the man, Don, our guest from
Don,
last week.
Fidelity is the best. I've been with them for over 10 years. Great support, no BS. I bought 5,000 XRP a few days ago with my 401k, up 15% in few days. Well done, Donnie.
It's still climbing, yeah.
So he's not going to sell, I don't think. I don't know.
No, he wants to hold it for his kids and his grandkids.
Yeah.
So that's a fantastic way to do it, to leave something, for your siblings when you're gone.
Donnie is a different, when I see Donnie in the pool, I say, hey, Mr. Altcoin, and I wave, and he waves back, hi, Mr. Bitcoin. So we have two different viewpoints on the way forward. Chuck Bree, Allianz in Oz.
In Australia, too. Yeah, they are a huge insurance company. And for them to get in, I think it's waking up a lot of the planet.
Right.
A lot of the big companies out there are saying, hang on, if they're getting in it, maybe we should too. And more companies every day are saying, we need to allocate some of our funds into Bitcoin. And that's why I say, folks, we're in unprecedented times.
Yeah.
It's different. This bull run is completely different than previous bull runs. If we didn't have the ETFs, if we didn't have pro crypto countries, I would say, yeah, Bitcoin's going to 130 max. With everything that's happening, and folks, you ask Mr. Schneider, when I'm at home, all I'm watching is crypto. That's it. Most of my time, I don't have time to watch TV series and movies. I'm too busy researching what's going on in crypto. I'm researching. I'm not telling you guys to do it, that you should do it, but that's just what I do. And I see the writing on the wall. I say this time is definitely different. I'm very bullish on Bitcoin right now. I say it's going way past everybody's expectations. I can even see it possibly, and I know this is a crazy figure. I'm going to put it out there. I think Bitcoin can go to 750 a million. I really do. I think that it has that potential. But then there's a lot of things that have to come into play. All right. This isn't just straightforward. It's going from 100,000 to 750. No, it doesn't work that way. But if all the plays come out, there is the possibility, yes, it can go a lot higher than $500,000. You would need more nation states adopting it. You need bigger companies like Microsoft and Amazon saying, yes, we're putting 10% of our portfolio into it. And then you get what Brooke loves to call FOMO, fear of missing out. And it can explode. And then the last people that always get into Bitcoin is retail. Always. They're the last one that pump it that extra mile. So I think next year, Brooke and I are extremely excited. We talk about it every time we see each other. Hey, man, next year it's going to be wild.
2025 is going to be a good year.
Yes.
Don Delonic, in the last 7 days, XRP has outperformed Bitcoin and Solana since our live stream last Monday. Percentage-wise, we'll kick butt and take no prisoners in the next 6 months.
Mr. Altcoin.
John Bain at Don Delonic, RLUSD looming.
Whatever that means. Real life? I don't know.
No,
what RL?
Some coin.
Okay.
Daryl Finley. There's Daryl with our Bitcoin coins.
Yes. Thank you very much, Daryl.
Thanks, Daryl. I have a Thai friend who wants to invest in Bitcoin. Good. I use Fidelity ETF. Good. Can Thai folks sign up at Fidelity if you know that?
Okay. So here's.
Can they?
Yes.
Oh, good.
Anybody, any country in the world can sign on to IBKR. Okay, so except for North Korea, I don't think North Korea can, but countries from around the world can. And yes, here in Thailand, I have IBKR, and I opened my IBKR here in Thailand. So if I can do it, I'm sure your friend can.
I think they just need ID. You upload that. Everything's done online, Daryl.
Proof of address and photo ID.
Yeah, so I would say you know, maybe work with the guy. Download the IBKR app, hopefully on a laptop or a tablet or something, and it'll walk you through, like, join, and it'll walk you through the steps you need to do to and there is some uploading. I think you'd have to do selfies, upload that, a government ID, you have to upload that. And then I think it's 48 hours they approve you, or so
it takes about 48 hours, 3 days, 72 hours. So there, all you have to do is tell him to go to his app store, Daryl, and download the IBK app, and then follow the instructions once you download it to register. And once you've done that and it's been completed, they'll give you an account number, and then with a SWIFT code and all that, it's all in there. And then all he's got to do is just transfer to the IBK.
Sure.
And then start investing.
Keely McCausey Maka, BTC always will be #1, and second for me is Jasmine. I hodl but for other coins I keep for one cycle only. I take enough profits to recoup my initial costs. So there's the guy, when he sees the prices jump on whatever it is,
takes profits.
He takes out his investment, because then you're playing with house money. Smart way to do it.
So if you invest $1,000 in there, it goes to 2,000. Take 1,000 out, so you got your initial money back. Whatever you earn or lose, you're playing with free money.
Yeah. Now I also do that with any other coin you have, except Bitcoin. I would hodl that for the long term. Bandy Dandy, I regret not putting more in. I only got in when PayPal gave the okay in 2021 at 30K. He's talking about Bitcoin here.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, it's never too late. There is no second best. Just keep dollar cost averaging in, guys, and you'll be happy in 3, 5, 10 years, hopefully retire sooner.
Mm.
Dean Parkinson, you're right. In the early days, I was very heavy in alts. The best I got Bitcoin for was 9,200 Aussie. Still have it. Well done.
Well done.
Yeah.
He will be very, very pleased.
He's done over a 10x with that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
Easily. I think with Aussie, it's probably 15x.
9,200. Yeah, he's definitely done very well.
Well done, Dean. Kiwi Magazi Maka, I think we can get to 250K with this Bitcoin cycle. A lot of guys are predicting that.
I know.
Yeah.
I've been watching them, and one of my favorites is Tommy Lee.
Yes, from
Fundstrat,
I think.
From Fundstrat. He's one of the creators and chief market
I'll be right
analysts
back.
for Fundstrat. And with Tommy Lee, he's one of those people that have very, very rarely been wrong. And it's a bad option to bet against him. And he said, like I said earlier, that Bitcoin is going to go way above 100,000 in the month of December. But when he was asked on CNBC Squawk Box, he was asked on there, where do you see Bitcoin in 6 months? He said 250,000. Where do you see Bitcoin this time next year? 250,000. So he's saying that, that is his bear case is 250. He's saying that it'll go much higher, but then it'll come back down and finish off the year, the bull run at 250,000. When that guy says it, you really don't want to bet against him. I know there's all these people out there on YouTube. I'm one as well. That think it'll go a hell of a lot higher. Some people out there saying, no, it's only going to go to 130. Not with the amount Michael Saylor's buying in the U.S. government and other governments around the world, and now big corporations, Allianz, Microsoft, Amazon. I mean, these are just Tesla's got a huge bag of Bitcoin now. So, I mean, I just see the writing on the wall. A lot of people's going to want to jump in, and it could go a lot higher than 250. But what I would like to know, Kiwi, is, are you going to sell at 250? Or are you going to hold it and keep it for years running out?
Interesting.
Or that's what I would like to know. I want to know
at what price would you sell your Bitcoin?
Exactly. At what price would you sell your Bitcoin? That's what I want to know from you guys, the audience, in today's live stream. Let me know in the comments. Do you have an exit strategy? Are you saying that you think, you're going to hold on to it? It goes to 250,000. I'm selling everything. I'm getting out. Or you're going to hold on to it knowing it's going to 500,000, 1 million, 10 million in the next 10, 20 years? What is your strategy? What are you guys thinking right now, today? What you're thinking you're going to do in the future. If you know, I'd love to hear it. Please let us know.
It's called lifestyle chips.
Yeah.
So you're going to sell a bit of your Bitcoin should you need some lifestyle chips.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning, hey, I want to buy that condo on the water in the Gold Coast in Australia, or I want to buy a farm in the outback, or farmland in Canada, whatever. You're doing something that you need to live or want to live. So that's
because I'll tell you where Bitcoin's going in the future, and it started right now. Started in the last 60 days. There's companies out there that are going to give you loans on your Bitcoin.
Yep.
That you can say you had one Bitcoin, so you got $100,000 in today's market. They can give you 50% loan on it.
Maybe 30
or 30% loan on it, hypothetically speaking. We don't know what they're going to come up with until they actually start this, but they are in the process of starting this, folks. And so say you got 100,000 Bitcoin, they're going to give you $30,000. You could put that $30,000 back into Bitcoin and then wait, and get the loan for like 10 years. I don't know. And just let Bitcoin go up, take profits every time it goes above that, pay off the loan and then get another loan and so forth. And you could really build up a huge bag doing the MicroStrategy play.
Yeah, let's wait and see on that.
So I think we're in for some very interesting times.
Yeah, definitely. There'll be some, definitely something similar to that coming out. But okay, Gene says, I buy my Bitcoin on Coinbase. Is it better to buy a Bitcoin ETF? Okay. two things, Gene. I'm not sure what the spread is, like the fees, in other words, of Coinbase. I don't use them anymore. I haven't for years. So check into that. The second thing is, you know, I assume they're hodling your coins for you, so you got that risk with Coinbase. One thing Coop likes Fidelity for is they self-custody their coins. So they're not dealing with Coinbase, whereas most of them are. Not to say that's a bad thing, but you know, hey, it's one less iron in the fire you got to worry about. Let's say if they're, you know, self-custody with Fidelity. And lastly, the reason I like Fidelity ETFs or even iBet is number one, your coins will be there. You know, you don't have to worry about custodying them. The fees are low. So and they track Bitcoin perfectly.
It's 0.25%.
Yeah. Where I'm worried about the spread with Coinbase, like who knows what it's going to be when you sell. When you have the ETFs, whatever that value of Bitcoin is, that's what you're getting. So there's not a, you know, a $2,000 up or down price with Coinbase if that's what it's dictated. So yeah, anyways.
There's pros and cons to both.
Yeah, there is.
Gene, and here's a pro that you have that I don't. Okay, the stock market's open for 8-9 hours a day. Okay, if Bitcoin all of a sudden jumped up to 250,000 and the stock market's closed, I can't sell and make a profit. You can. So there are pros and cons in both ways. A lot of people say my crypto, my keys, and I agree with what they're saying. Me, I like the idea that I'm with Fidelity because they're FDIC insured. I don't think Coinbase is FDIC insured, are they?
I don't think so. No, I am pretty sure the like Fidelities of the world are. Yeah, that's something. I mean, it's SEC regulated, so I don't know how much you need to worry about that, but yeah, be worthwhile checking in.
Yeah, but there's Coinbase, and there's a lot of others out there that you can put it in. There's Robinhood, for example, that you can put it in. You know, so many different companies out there, you know, that you can buy your crypto through. If it's working for you, keep it. You know, I think you got one advantage over me, that you can trade crypto 24/7. I can't. I can only do it when the market's open. So it's half a dozen of one, dozen of another. Which one suits you best? Me, I'm holding this. I'm holding it for the long run. I'm going to be learning from Mr. Schneider here how to do covered calls to boost my income here in Thailand. But my Bitcoin, I'm holding. I'm not planning on selling it.
Yeah, Coop's touched on a point that has been brought up many times, and that is with the like stock exchanges in the West, in Canada and US mainly, it's only, you know, not 9:30 to 4, 5 days a week, where people want to trade. Like Robinhood, you can trade 24/7, I think, on a lot, not on all their stocks, but quite a few. And the talk is that you will see more competition coming for these old school ones, either that or extended hours.
I think they have to do.
Well, people want it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's the future. You know, you come on, you got to get with technology.
They're going to have to open part of the stock exchange for the ETFs that are on crypto. If crypto trades 24 hours a day, you have to allow those that are buying into the ETFs to trade 24/7 as well.
Yeah, or even stocks. Like why can't you trade Apple 24/7 or Amazon or, you know, whatever stocks you have? You got to wait till the market's open. Well, heavens, on a Saturday afternoon, something happens, a war in the Middle East, you want to be able to, you know,
take it out quick.
Yeah,
you know,
so
because it's about to drop and then buy back in at a lower price.
Live and learn with Mike. Cooper. Brooke, what different coins are you holding?
I hold only Bitcoin.
Ditto.
That's the only crypto I hold, Mike. I do have some of the miners, Clean Spark, like Brooke does, and then I do have Tesla. So those are my 3 bags that I have right now: the miner, Clean Spark, then Fidelity ETF for Bitcoin, and then I have Tesla shares as well.
I don't have the ETFs. I have big in MicroStrategies, my biggest holding, and I have Mara, Riot, and Clean Spark as far as the miners. I didn't sell all my miners, meaning flip them into MicroStrategy. you know, hey, you don't need all your eggs there, but probably 85% of my minor totals. And, you know, I was a few thousand shares in each of them I put into MicroStrategy. So I'm sitting on a pretty big bag of that. But as far as altcoins, no, that's not my cup of tea. Um, you know, if I was to do anything, it would be Solana. But again, I'd have to do a lot more research before I decided on that. So what I do, I focus all my research daily, and I enjoy it. And I'll be at the gym with headphones on, listening to Invest Answers, checking out other YouTube videos on MicroStrategy, Bitcoin, for example. I just find it's fun. It's like a game, and you know, it's not necessarily the money, although that's how you keep score, I guess. So yeah. Kyle Cooper, are you going to buy a condo or house with all that Bitcoin money?
Absolutely. That is the plan. I'm waiting for Bitcoin to go to a certain price I have in my head. Once it hits that target price, I will be taking out some profits only. I'm not going to touch my initial investment. I'd be crazy to do that. And using it to build what we call Coopersville. And it's going to, the plan is it's going to go one of two ways. Either we're going to be able to build, buy the land and build like 10 houses on there, or, you know, or invite our subscribers to build 10 houses on there, and or 20 houses. Depends on how much interest there is for the Coopersville. But yeah, that is the plan. Or it'll just be 2 houses, me and Brooke. I don't care either way. You know, yeah, that's something I want to leave to Darlene and the kids. And you know, the grandkids, I'd like to leave it to them, and they have a holiday home anytime they want to come out to. They can rent it out after I'm gone. They can sell it. They can do whatever the hell they want. But it's just something I'd like to leave and pass on to the family.
Yeah, in my case, I'm looking at like I'm quite happy renting, but you know, if it gets high enough, then we'll do something like that for sure. I definitely want to get Jackie a house in the Philippines. They're not real expensive, 40, 50, 60,000 will do that. American, but I'll tell you, the bulk is probably the grandkids, because I really worry with the grandkids today and in the world that they're coming up in. How are they ever going to afford a house? I mean, one, you know, daughter in Australia loves it there. A couple grandkids in Canada, you know, price is just as bad there. How on earth are they going to afford housing with what's going on? So hopefully this will be a way.
Yeah.
Dennis Starkey, good morning.
Good morning, Dennis.
John Bain, RLUSD is a stable coin that XRP was rumored to be releasing December 4th, but they had delayed the announcement. Okay.
Okay. That's the one you were talking about stable last week there, but John, yeah. Okay, I'm with you now.
Richard Woolley, would a major world conflict not have a detrimental impact on Bitcoin, as things are not too rosy at the moment? The funny thing, Richard, when the Russia-Ukraine war broke out, now we're going back over a year ago.
2 years ago.
2 years ago, there was a panic to get into Bitcoin. Yeah, the Ukrainians were dumping their money, whatever that was, Ukrainian whatever, and the Russians were dumping their rubles. They were both buying Bitcoin. The reason is, oh my God, they thought the currencies were going to drop like a stone.
And they did.
And they did. So there you go. I think if anything, you'll see with world conflict, there'll be a rush to safer assets, and you know, Bitcoin's that for me.
I don't think there's going to be any world wars. I think the wars are going to be coming to an end now, and hopefully for the next 4 years we all live in peace and we'll make a lot of money. TQ, hold I agree
for dear life. Mandy Danny selling some at 148K. That's his sale price. Okay.
Yeah.
A little under 150, because 150 there'll be a wall, but he's nipping in there at 148.
Just below it.
Just below it. I'm going to get mine sold quick and make the money.
There you go. Smart man. I would sell some off the table, get some profits, let it hit that sell wall, drop back down like it did when it hit 100. You know, I went from 100 down to 92. 150, it could drop back down to 130. Buy back in.
With me, I'll probably let my calls be the determining factor, the strike price. You know, I went through one where I rolled up and out, and I kind of wish I had let the stock, you know, get called. But so if I've made, you know, double a price on MicroStrategy, for example, I would definitely probably let some of it go if that was short-term gain. So, you know, that would be my determining factor. I don't need to set the price.
Mm.
Let the strike price determine, hey, the calls, I get to keep the income. It hits that price, my stock goes away, I keep the money. Okay, that'll be it.
But I remember when it hit 100,000, Brooke, and it dropped down to 92.
Yeah.
Well, I feel sorry for the guys that were selling at 92 because now they got to buy back in more than what they paid for it. So it's one of those things you don't know how far it's going to drop. And that's what scares me. I don't mind taking a bit of profits off the top, for things that I need in life, like buying a house, maybe buying a boat and do some fishing. I love fishing. So those sort of things I can see doing, but selling it all and hoping to buy back in at the bottom when you don't know what the bottom figure is going to be. You may think, okay, it's hit 150, it's going down to 100, it goes down to 130 and then spikes back up to 148, and all of a sudden you got to buy back in at what you sold it for.
To me that's trading,
or pay more.
I'm not really looking at trading. Like, that's trying to pick the highs, lows,
So
win in, went out.
I agree with Vandy Dandy, taking some profits.
Yeah. Buy and hold. That's kind of my philosophy. Kiwi Makazi Maka, I'll sell half my bag at 150. You might want to go 149.8. On that Kiwi. I'm almost 72, same age as me, and I want to spend some money to enjoy myself. Well, hey, sell some calls, you'll do that. I won't live in Thailand, but I support some charities in Thailand and more in the Philippines. Where would you live, Kiwi? Oh, maybe in Australia.
Yeah.
Jesus, things are expensive there.
And that's who he likes to help out charities.
His Philippine band of Mercy Hospital. Well done, Kiwi.
Yeah.
Yeah, good on you. Market focus. My philosophy is dollar cost average in Bitcoin, and I will DCA out at 150K at 10% at a time as the price increases. But I will also have something in Bitcoin. So he's going to keep some Bitcoin regardless. And that's interesting because there is, like Coop says sometimes, hey, Brooke, what happens when the OTC, the over-the-counter exchanges run out of coins? And I says, it'll never happen. The price will, bring them in. As the price gets bid up, you'll see more coins offered for sale, such as this. So there'll be people sell at 150. There'll be people sell at 200. There'll be people sell at 300. So there'll always be a supply of coins to buy. It's just, what will the price be? So anyways, that's that. Alpha says, Coop, I packed the Canadian Club mouth rinse for your dental recovery. A little on the strong side, but extremely tasty. Hope all goes well with your procedure. Yeah, so Alpha's coming over and bringing your medicine. Okay, so you'll be good.
Okay, I'm just replying to my wife. Sorry, something personal going on here. Keep waffling away. You're good at that, Mr. Brooke.
Dandy, there are several places to do that. Guitar Garden says, selling my crypto at the top, getting that wife-changing money, and retiring in Thailand. He's getting his wife-changing money. Okay, yeah. Well, that's hilarious. And then we're down to Polar Bear Sunrise.
Okay, let me catch up with you.
Yep.
There we
Polar
go.
Bear Sunrise. I use Fidelity Bitcoin, same as you, Coop. I will probably take a little profit in January since it will then have been held 1 year. Yeah, I think in the US, you hold it 1 year, you have the lower capital gains.
That's correct.
Yeah. Okay, there you go.
Because at the moment, if you sell it less than a year, it's like 24%.
Well, it's more, definitely more. So you want to hold a year.
Yeah.
Big Al, there's a saying, know your enough amount or be cursed chasing money. We all are different for that amount. That's the beauty of living in Thailand compared to the West. Know your enough amount. Hey, how much is enough?
Exactly. Nobody knows.
I think you can live comfortably here, guys, on $2,000 a month American, and there's guys doing it on $800, and they're happy. So it's, depends on the style of lifestyle. I mean, if you're into the women and into the, the beer gardens every night, it's going to be a little more. But
and if you follow the stock to flow model, like Plan B, who's another great YouTuber, he releases a video on YouTube. He's also on X. He releases a video on YouTube the first week of the month, every month. And he's got the stock to flow model putting Bitcoin at 500,000.
Yeah. I think 250 to a million. And he took 500 as
the medium.
Yeah, a medium, yeah. So that's, wow, there you go. Stranger things. Kiwi McAussie, I do live in Australia on average at Pittsworth, Queensland. Very well done.
Yeah.
I have a granddaughter going nursing school, Griffith, I think it's called, up in Queensland.
And I have a shout out to give from Daryl Finley, who bought us 5 coffees and says, wish it was a real Bitcoin. I was able to send to the both of you. You have given all your community such support and value. Thank you. And thank you, Daryl, for the 5 coffees and for the Bitcoin shorts.
Yes, thanks, Daryl.
And for the Bitcoin coin, which he gave us here, the Bitcoin coins for Brooke and I. I still keep them. They're right there on the mantelpiece behind me. I need some better sticky tape to keep falling off. But yeah, thank you so much for that, Daryl. Much appreciated. If you're wondering how he did it, right here, that's the Buy Us a Coffee QR code. Use your cell phone, your camera. It'll scan that and take you directly to our page. And it is appreciated. It
Good
really
news,
is.
Daryl. I was able to sell my coin at 60,000. Okay, so I had a
you
buyer.
sold this coin at 60,000.
Yeah, well,
I'm hanging on to it for dear life.
I got lucky. I'm only kidding, guys. That's a joke. Cerebral Aptitude, recently retired, 22 years in finance. Whether it's Bitcoin or stock, take your profits, stay for life in your ETFs. There you go. Good advice.
Part of me is thinking, if Bitcoin did go crazy and actually hit $1 million, which I know is unlikely, folks, but if it did, would I sell 75% of that, and my
And
Bitcoin, and just sit on the cash earning 6%?
A melting ice cube.
Because it's going to drop, Brooke. It is going to drop
you
big
think
time.
So? They're saying that now. There's a lot of people think it's going to drop. Well, I don't.
You think it'll hit $1 million and just keep running?
Yeah.
You don't think there's going to be a retracement?
Well,
the amount of people that would sell at $1 million, the sell wall would be humongous.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like people, it'll hit 200,000 this year, drop back to 160, and people will panic. Oh my God, it's going. Hey, just wait, and then from 200 it'll hit 3 and on up. So it hits $1 million, and maybe it retraces to 750. Well, it's going to hit 2 million eventually. The reason is there'll be a demand. These governments on the planet are continually printing paper, nothing backing it, nothing to do. People don't want that. They're waking up to the fact, hey, I got to preserve my buying power, my, and maybe gold's a little harder to do it with. So Bitcoin will be the answer. Now, will it be in my lifetime? Maybe not. Maybe in your lifetime, maybe, it might be 2040, 2045, who knows, but you'll see $10 million Bitcoin prices because, the demand will be there.
I agree with you in some respects, Brooke.
We don't have to agree on everything.
No, we don't. More often than not, we don't agree. But I agree with you on some points. I can see governments out there printing money just to buy Bitcoin. It doesn't cost them anything to print it.
Why wouldn't they?
So, okay, so we're, $10 trillion in debt, say we're France, for example, we're $10 trillion in debt. Okay, let's print out another $1 trillion, and from the money machine, and just put it into Bitcoin. It doesn't cost the taxpayers anything, and we all walk away multi-billionaires. I can see that happening. I can see a lot of third world countries around the world saying, hey, let's, print, an extra trillion of our currency and buy Bitcoin, wait for it to spike up 10x, we'll sell it, and then we'll split it between the government. I can see that happening. I really can.
Big Al, I put 2% of my portfolio to get my feet wet with no regrets. Well done, Al. Now, it's funny, just this week, Schwab comes out, first time ever,
and says
their recommendation.
10%.
Yeah, they published it, sent it to all their investment advisors, recommending the clients have 10% of their portfolio in Bitcoin just to maintain, going forward, okay, the returns, let's say. Yeah. So that's interesting when you start hearing that, especially from the big boys like that.
And just a reminder, folks, our next meet and greet is the 24th of December, Christmas Eve, at Fraser, 6 p.m. I will be there. Brooke Schneider will be there. My wife, Jackie, and probably 50 to 70 of our subscribers has got a lot of interest in this one, and a lot of new people have come out here. For example, Cerebral Aptitude, that we were just answering his question. He's just arrived, and quite a few others that are looking forward to meeting up. So our next meet and greet is December 24th. Next week, I will not be doing any live streams. Brooke will be doing them all by himself. I'm going in the hospital on Friday this week and getting the remainder of my teeth taken out, and then implants putting in, and I'll have a swollen mouth with a lot of stitches, and I won't be able, they're making me some dentures right now as we speak, but I won't be able to wear them until the stitches come out.
You'll be gumming it.
So I'll be gumming it. I'll be Grandpa Gums there. So I won't be on for the next week, but we will still have 3 live streams. It'll be regular Saturday, Monday, and Wednesday of next week. And Mr. Schneider will be doing them on there. And maybe we'll have a special guest or
We
two.
will.
You got somebody in mind?
Absolutely.
Okay, so we'll have a
It's already confirmed.
Do you want to tell us who it is, or you want to make it a surprise?
Okay.
Okay, what?
Alfa Romeo has agreed to come on. And
Oh, the famous Alfa Romeo.
Yeah,
Okay.
he says he'll be the Ed McMahon to my Johnny Carson. So
Okay.
it should be a hoot. We'll have some laughs that day.
Yeah, so all of you on here will be able to meet Alfa Romeo in person and speak to him and pick his brain. He's
Great
been
guy.
coming in and out of Thailand for quite a few years.
Yep.
And he's planning his retirement in the next 2 years to stay here full time.
As a lovely
So he's
Thai
coming
lady
there
for
for-
many years, and
Yeah.
he's been all over Thailand. And
So he actually arrives on the 13th, the day I go in the
Correct.
hospital.
Yeah.
And he'll be here for 2 months this time.
Yep.
I think that's the longest period he's staying.
he can't wait. He's got 2 years left, he says, but I keep pumping the Bitcoin into him, and I said, "You're going to retire earlier than 2 years, trust me." And so we'll see.
Yeah, so hopefully, I'm fingers crossed. I don't know, because it'll only be 11 days since my operation. I'll be able to put the dentures in for the meet and greet, because if not, I don't know how I'm going to be talking. And I'll
Just wear
probably
a
look
mask.
extremely.
You wear one of those
That's
masks,
a good
like,
idea.
"Oh, I got a cold. I don't want anybody."
Yeah, I can wear one of those COVID masks.
Yeah,
Put 'em over my
exactly.
face.
That's how
There
you
you
gotta
go.
do it. I didn't want to infect anybody.
So just wanted to put that out there so you guys remember what's going on in the channel.
J.E. Washington, good morning, gentlemen. Brooke, can you provide the name of some of the crypto channels you used for research? Okay, I do. Yes, Invest Answers is my #1 go-to. Anything that Plan B puts out, yeah, there's several of them there. Just mine's gone blank here. Freddy Krueger's another one. Here, you know what? Let me pull them up here. I can tell you right away here. Just give me a bear.
While he's looking, I also follow Tommy Lee. I think he's fantastic in his predictions, one of the best. And then, of course, there's the man himself, Mr. Michael Saylor, the CEO of MicroStrategy. I follow him on X religiously because he'll put out, oh, by the way, we just bought $2 billion worth of Bitcoin yesterday, and this is the price we paid for it. And then when the stock market goes up, I've already got my pre-bid in of what I want to buy the share at, because it's going to spike up like crazy. So those are the top ones I watch. What about you, Mr. Schneider?
Okay, so make a note here. Bitcoin Archive, and I follow these on X.
Okay.
That's my trusted, source. Good and bad on X, but listen, these are the guys I follow, I trust. Bitcoin Archive with Archie, that's kind of the handle. Invest Answers, obviously, is on there. I follow a guy called Marty Party, all one word, on X as well. Again, these are kind of Bitcoin related. Some altcoins are mentioned, obviously. Fred Krueger, okay, he's another fellow I follow. Eric Balkunas.
From Bloomberg.
Yeah, from Bloomberg, he's good. Anthony Popliano, I follow that guy. And obviously, hey, the Godfather, Michael Saylor, as you mentioned. So I'll sometimes have to just Google, hey, anything, or YouTube it, the latest Saylor, and they're 5-10 minute videos. I tend to watch them every day. It's all I basically watch on YouTube. And the reason I do that, guys, we're never too old to learn. And I want to learn, and you'll never learn everything about Bitcoin. There's, I don't get into the fine nuts and bolts of the, the mining necessarily and the nodes and all that, but I know enough that, hey, I know where it's headed. But obviously keep doing your research. I do it every day. I'm never too old to learn. Keeps me excited about the topic, keeps me interested. And the proof's in the pudding. When you can make a few bucks, that's how you keep score.
And while we're on the subject of X, there's two people I follow on X religiously for the ETF side of things. For those of you that are in the ETF or interested in getting into the ETFs, the number one person I follow on there is called Huddle 15 Capital, is his X name on X. And he will give you what the market's bought in Bitcoin or sold in Bitcoin on last
daily
daily trading. So he'll say, for example, BlackRock just bought $300 million of Bitcoin. Fidelity bought and sold this much, and you can see when these come out, what's going to happen. Is the price of Bitcoin going to go up, or is it going to go down? So it's sort of like a pre-forecast of what's going to happen before the next stock market opens, and it's a good way of hedging your bets.
Yeah. Yep.
I do watch that daily. And the second person is called Trader T.
Okay.
And Trader T does the same thing as what Huddle 15 does, except he does it about an hour sooner. And Huddle 15 oftenly refers to him on his X page.
Yeah. I think too, just, search around, Google it. Lynn Alden's another one I follow. Kathy Wood from ARK Investments, she'll put stuff out. I try and catch up on it. So it depends how much time you have and how much effort you want to put into it. But there's lots of good ones out there. And there's other FUDs, guys with channels that I got no time.
Yeah.
The big thing with Invest Answers, and definitely check it out, guys. He factually, and he's got a whack of guys doing research for him.
He's got a whole team.
His whole team, exactly. So he's not a one-man show by any means. And he's able to do this research. It's factual. It's trustworthy. It's, believable. Lost Boy, what was the inflation for Thailand over the last 5 years?
Very little. Like 2%, 3%.
Yeah. Hard to say.
Yeah.
Rent. Yeah.
But over here, they have Lost Boy value added tax.
Yeah. VAT.
VAT. So when you purchase something, there's VAT already in the price. What they're talking about in Thailand right now is changing the income tax rate. So the Thais pay less income tax, and then raising the VAT to 10%.
Wow. From 7.
From 7. That's the maximum they can do.
Okay.
That they're allowed to by law, just by presidential order, without having a vote in parliament about it. So they are actually talking about doing that. But I think 3% on what food is out here is so freaking cheap. So you're paying, instead of $2 for a meal, you're paying $2.06.
Yeah.
It's not going to make a huge difference to
your
anybody.
Base is so low here, guys. When you do add another 3-5% to the low base, it's not as noticeable.
No.
When you have a high base and you add 2%, my God, that can be, $40-50 on a purchase. So
yeah.
Speaking of vehicles, Rigor Mortis, I will be there. He's coming
at the meet and greet. Yeah, good to meet you, buddy.
Richard Woolley, Coops, you look like Donny Osmond.
Okay, thank you. I got told about a year ago.
Alfred E. Newman.
Yeah, I look like Alfred E. Newman from Mad Magazine.
He's a dead ringer. Look at that.
I got the ears. Yeah. Someone once told me in a comment in one of my videos over a year ago, "Hey, Cooper, I know a surgeon in Bangkok that can fix your ears for you and tie them back."
Oh, wasn't that a nice
I look like
statement?
Dumbo.
From Mayo, thanks again for another informative show. T-minus 5 days, the longest 5 days ever. Oh, he's itching at the bit. Looking forward to seeing you all soon in the land of smiles.
And looking forward to it, Romeo.
Kiwi Magazi Maka, take some profit and bury it under the apple tree. We'll always need cash, even we have Bitcoin, and fiat money can coexist. Bitcoin, Thailand, and the Philippines all here. Friends forever, over and out. Okay, Kiwi.
Yeah, I do. I sit on a bit of cash.
Expired password, bro. Brooke, you hardly mentioned XRP in the last 2 months. Only Bitcoin. Let me tell you why expired. I don't like I research Bitcoin and I talk about it. I feel comfortable talking about it. That's where my research has always been. I don't, and I publicly state this, I don't follow these altcoins. I call them shit coins because I haven't done the research. So it's not for me to comment on.
You don't know enough about
I
it.
don't know enough about them, guys. And that's why I always say, hey, do your research into it before you invest. Now, I did a little bit with XRP after because Don was coming on.
Mhm.
And when I saw they have 100 billion issuance, 50 billions issued, 50 billion to come of tokens, and then, well, that's a little bit rich. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I just don't have enough information, nor do, and I shouldn't really comment on stuff that I don't get involved in. So if you're into it, good, do your research and, hey, you want to talk Bitcoin, I'm your man. But
yeah, and that's why we have people on the show like Donnie, who's very big in altcoins, especially his number one bag is XRP.
Yeah.
So we will be having future guests on here because we like the diversity of, all the different cryptos out there. And Brooke and I know about MicroStrategy. We know about Bitcoin. Don't know a lot about the altcoins, but that's why we want to have special guests on here so they can share their knowledge with you.
FPBC Crypto, I have same question about crypto winter. We'll watch closely, but I have same sentiment as you and ready to not sell my Bitcoin and MicroStrategy. Well done with both those. We are following same people like Invest Answers. So yeah, you tend to, when you get into our kind of call it team or league, you follow Invest Answers and you really start to believe and become knowledgeable in it. So,
and I'm on the same side as you, FPB. I'm leaning towards, I was sort of, like 20% chance. Now I'm sort of 50-50 net. I'm hedging on 51% that there may not be a crypto winner for Bitcoin. I can't say that for the altcoins. Again, I'm like Brooke, I don't know enough. But for Bitcoin, with everybody that's getting into it and the pledges by the U.S. government, if this bill gets passed, pledges by Michael Saylor to buy 42 billion of Bitcoin over the next 3 years. Well, my God, that's crypto winter and crypto spring out the window. If they're between both of them, they're going to buy 4 times daily issuance. And the miners aren't selling. People like CleanSpark, Mara, and Riot aren't selling their Bitcoin. We're in price discovery action, is where we're going with Bitcoin. And, it can be completely different, this bull run, because a lot of things have changed over the last 12 months. I don't know. I don't know where it's going to go. I'm going to wait. I'm going to give the new administration 100 days because they said they're going to put this in play within the first 100 days. I want to see what they do. And then I'll have a better idea by the end of April whether I'm going to sell 75%, take massive profits, or I'm just going to hodl it for the next 4 years because this roller coaster is going nowhere but up. So I'm of the same opinion as you, FPB. We're in new times here, new times, and anybody that tells you different, it's going to be this way is completely wrong.
Guessing,
is guessing. I don't like to guess. I like to see the writing on the wall and where it's going. I'll be interested if this bill passes. I could see Bitcoin going to 500,000. If it doesn't pass, you could see Bitcoin top out, somewhere around the, $250,000 mark, but somewhere between 150 and 250. So it's interesting times ahead, and I'm just holding, waiting to see what happens.
Okay, well, let's pitter patter.
You want to add anything to that?
No, I want to get through these comments.
Okay, here we go.
Dandy, people who are behind the accumulation stage need some alts to help catch up. Oh, that's an idea.
Yeah.
Expired password Brooke, I'm up 228% on my XRP. Well done. I'm very surprised you put more emphasis on BTC. Well, again,
don't know enough about it.
Yeah, and it's like I don't know enough about Doge. I don't know enough about Solana.
Pepe,
I don't know enough about
Sui.
Sui. Like, so and don't listen. Don't trust people that are, I'm admitting that. So why would I want to comment on that? I mean, now Bitcoin, I speak about Bitcoin, and the reason I emphasize it because I've done my research. I'm very comfortable, and obviously I don't want to tell friends, family, and I've got a lot of guys here into Bitcoin in the last 2 years, and you know what? They all think I'm great because the advice was sound, solid. They've done extremely well, and God bless them. You know, so it's kind of like, hey, I'm a service. I don't get paid for this. I'm just happy to help people. Bitcoin will help people, you know, help countries do everything. That's why they're going to be adopting it. So,
yeah.
Yep.
Now, here's what I will say, Expired Passport, bro. I'll make you an offer right here, right now on the live stream. Send me an email. I will send you a link to join Brooke on the live stream Monday next week, and you'll be on camera wherever you are in the world. You just click the link and your camera come on your cell phone, your tablet, your laptop, your PC, whichever device you want to use, and you can come on and join them and share your knowledge with us. That's what this channel is all about, sharing knowledge. I would love to have you on here. I'm sure Brooke Schneider would love to have you on here.
No
Let
worries.
us know in the comments. Are you man enough to come on here and tell us your professional knowledge, you know, what you built up in your lifetime, you know, about XRP, why you're so excited about it. Explain to us how it works. I'd love to have you on here. I'd certainly watch it. And I will be in the room. I just won't be on the camera. And it'd be fantastic to have more people talk about the altcoins that they're into and come on the channel as a special guest. You don't have to be here in Thailand in our studio. We can actually send you a link and you can come on camera on the live stream and share the platform with us and discuss your opinions.
That's a fact, Jack.
Yeah.
Cheap Charlie's riding the BTC runaway train. Hi, buddy. Big gains and smaller coins. Yeah, a lot of guys have done well.
Yeah.
So they've obviously done the research. Good for them.
Yeah. Just to make sure you get out before it goes down, whatever you do.
Take your investment off the table and play with the house money. My advice. Lost boy, be fearful when everyone is greedy. Be greedy when everyone is fearful. 2 words. I think Warren Buffett said that.
Yeah. And here's one thing that we're about to wrap this show up, by the way, folks. Here's one thing that Jamie from Invest Answers has said. There's a thing called fear and greed. All right. I watch it every day on my YouTube channel, on the YouTube TV, and it shows the Bitcoin price going up and down. And then it tells you what the fear and greed is. And the fear and greed right now is at 78, which is extreme greed. And Jamie's always said that if you want to buy in Bitcoin, buy when fear and greed is high, and then sell when fear and greed is high, and then buy when it's low. So fear and greed did drop at one point down to I think it was 30-40. It dropped down to when the panic set in, and that was often the best time to buy because you knew you were at the low. So follow the fear and greed index, folks. And I'll just span the camera around so you all can see the TV on what it looks like. So there you go. There's my big screen TV. And the fear and greed, let's get it over here, is right there. And it tells you the fear and greed there, which is extreme greed 78. So, you know, it's high now. And Bitcoin's coming down a bit. It's sitting now at 99,200. I'm excited to see what it is when the stock market opens, because the ETFs have between 1 and 2 trading days from when you buy into the ETF. They have to actually go out and buy the coin or the parts of a coin, you know, it's Satoshis. So I'm looking forward to seeing this week how high it's going to go. I'm predicting this week it's going to hit somewhere between 105 and 110. What are your thoughts, Brooke?
110.
110?
Yep.
You think it's going to hit 110 by the end of the week?
Oh, yeah.
Close the market on Friday?
Maybe higher.
Maybe higher.
I think there's enough news out there. I think MicroStrategy is going to rock it. I told Romeo, I think it's going to be 500 by the end of the week.
Because they're applied to join the S&P 500. And if they get accepted into the S&P 500, I don't know. If they do, then oh my God, it's gonna grow
might
crazy.
Be the one, but yeah, when you get into these big indexes, let's say, there's automatic buys because these big indexes pull money every week from pension funds, from whatever individual investors, then that money has to get allocated into all those stocks that comprise the index. So you've got an automatic buy, an automatic floor, let's say, buying the stock. So yep.
Well, where they are at their market cap, if they were to join the S&P 500, they'd be in the top 10.
Yeah.
Of the S&P 500 top companies.
Expired password broke. I read somewhere that 1,000 invested in Bitcoin in 2009 is worth 1.3 billion in today's dollar. Well, that, hey, you know, you might be right if you're talking pennies.
No, 1,000 Bitcoin.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. You maybe he's invested pennies to get the 1,000 Bitcoin. Bingo, yeah, you're probably correct on that. 1,000 Bitcoin today. What are you? 10 coins is you're 1 million. 100 coins, you're 10 million. 1,000 coins, you're 100 million. So yeah, not quite there, but
yeah.
Don Delonic, research is good for us old farts. Keep the brain active and no mind issues.
Yeah,
it does. It's
I enjoy it.
Yeah,
I enjoy it.
Expired password broke. I'm in the West at the moment running some errands. Okay, good for you.
But it doesn't matter where you are, expired passport bro. We can send you the link so you can come on to StreamYard with us, which is the platform we use for our live streams. And come on and join us if you'd like. And we'd love to hear from you.
Boss boy, I'm just glad I made 35 grand in 24 and VWO, VGT, and Schneid. Yeah, those are I think they pay monthly on those things. Some of them do. Schneid does, I think. But no, that's good, guys. And a quick recap before we go. You know, look at the research on your covered calls. If you need to supplement your income. Now, if you don't need to supplement it, guys, and you're happy with it, just buy your MicroStrategy, buy your Bitcoin, hold, and, you know, let the things run. They will. But if you want to supplement that, or, you know, you don't have a lot to invest, there's a way to increase your monthly income. Look at the covered call strategies, get on YouTube, research till you become comfortable, and then you know what to do. And, you know, again, I use Bar Chart. It's a free service. That'll give you the option prices, and, you know, yeah, anyways, that's it.
So thank you all for coming on and watching today's live stream. We've got one goodbye here to say, and that's from Mike. Says, thank you guys, great channel. Thank you, Mike, for coming on, much appreciated. And we're going to keep this going. Every Monday is going to be all about crypto. Wednesday and Saturdays all about Thailand, because at the end of the day, this channel is about retirees coming to Thailand, how we invest our money, how we make money on top of our pensions, on top of my disability, and how we afford to do the things that we do. And this is how we do it. And we'd like to share it with everybody. So you all have the options to come on and join the bandwagon the way we're doing it, or keep doing it the way you're doing it. It doesn't matter. This is a fun channel, and it's meant to share our knowledge with each other. I want you guys to share it with us. Moving forward, what we're going to be doing in the channel in the new year is we're going to be putting a link in the description of the live stream. Anybody can click on it, and you can come on and join the chat like a radio show. You remember in the old days, you'd call the radio and you'd speak to the DJ on air. Well, we're going to be doing the same thing come January. All right, we're working on it now, trying to get all the technology set up. I don't know a lot about it. I've got friends that are helping. We're going to get the technology set up. You guys can either come on camera or you can do it via voice. It doesn't matter. And we can have a good debate, good discussion about life and retirement.
In Thailand.
In Thailand.
The land of smiles.
Or wherever you are. We'd love to have you on the show with us. And we think it'll be a lot of fun.
Thanks, bros, says Guitar Gardens.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And a salute. Thank
Jeff
you,
Sigler.
sir.
Thanks, gents.
And thank you, Jeff. And thank you to everybody that stayed to the end. God bless you all. If you haven't yet, hit the thumbs up. It's free. It doesn't cost a penny. And if you can, share our videos with your friends. Put it on your social media. Let's get our subscriber base up over 20,000 subscribers. I'd love to see it happen. I'm just going to check before we go offline. Before I refresh it, we were at 16,998 subscribers. Going to hit that refresh button right now, and we've lost one subscriber. It's gone down.
Man.
Probably the guy on Facebook that says, I don't like you're putting crypto on your channel. Maybe he said, okay, screw you, I'm out of here.
Bingo.
Up to you. That's your choice. This is a fun channel. We want to keep it fun. Thank you all for coming on and joining us again. wherever you are. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. God bless you all. Stay tuned.